don't need a high-end designer or a lot of money to get a luxe look. Be your own interior designer.
This is Affordable Interior Design, the podcast.
Here's your host, Betsy Helmuth.
Let's hear more about your question. You write, Betsy, thank you so much for the feedback on my living room layout. You responded to my question in June, on June 17th, which actually happens to be my birthday. So thank you for the awesome birthday present. I was wondering, what sort of lighting do you typically do in open concept rooms with 8-foot ceilings? Our dining room is in the center of our living space. It is the only statement lighting that's going to hang from the ceiling in the room. Is it okay for a pendant or chandelier to hang above the dining table, even though it will come just about to my 6 feet tall husband's chin? Or would something like a flush mount or semi-flush be more appropriate? Attached is a picture that shows you the view of the main living space from the kitchen. The dining room will be centered in the room in front of the bay window area. Thanks again for all the design help that you offer on this podcast. Brandi, I'm happy to help. And I love this picture. You know, as you told me today, this is a new build and you've been working on it since the beginning for nearly a year. That is very exciting. And it's liberating to be able to make some of these foundational choices, but also it's difficult because there's nothing already there for you to replicate. So let me tell you a couple of guidelines that you would, of course, learn in the academy, but you can also learn some of this stuff right here on this podcast. So generally, if I'm working in a room that has 8-foot ceilings, I will only do a flush mount light fixture because you don't want anybody hitting their head. You don't want anything to feel like it's coming down or, gosh forbid, make the room feel less high. So with 8-foot ceilings, which are standard, right? I just do flush mounts. They have to be 9-foot ceilings and above for me to do something like semi-flush or chandelier. All that being said, the one time, well, maybe there's a couple other times like with a kitchen island or something like that. But another time when I would hang a fixture that comes down like a pendant or a chandelier would be above the dining table. And the reason is because your 6-foot tall husband is not walking under the dining table because the table is there. So nobody's going to be walking under that fixture. Nobody's going to hit their head. Nobody's going to hit the bag of groceries as they're walking to the kitchen because the table will prevent you from being under the fixture. And most times people hang their dining room fixture way too high. So let me give you that number. So from the top of the table to the bottom of the fixture, it's 29 to 34 inches. So you'll take your measuring tape top of the table. You'll take it to the bottom of the fixture, that final crystal on the chandelier or whatever, right? The shade on the pendant. And that should be 29 to 34 inches. That will be perfect. It will look really appropriate because you want the fixture to be in relationship to the dining table, not the fixture to be in relationship to the ceiling. So even if I had 12-foot high ceilings, I would still choose a chandelier that would be hung 29 to 34 inches above the dining table because it's that relationship that's important. All right, Brandi, I hope that helped.
A big thank you to our amazing producer, Katherine Heller, to Aton and the MVCR House Band, and to Affordable Interior Design, the sponsor of this podcast and the premier place to get an amazing look on a budget. Check out affordableinteriordesign.com. If you guys love the show, the very best way to support us is by spreading the word. Tell your friends or write us an awesome review on iTunes. So until next week, guys, thanks so much for joining us, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.